How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Creators Process. As you know, my name is Jaden, and right next to me I have Lulu. How are we doing today?
Thank you.
That's good. And I want to first of all say a huge thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to come and do a really fun photo shoot and also to come onto the channel and talk about what you do. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for asking.
That's okay.
Glad to be here.
Amazing. And I think we've been definitely building up for this photo shoot as well as to do this interview, so it's been a long time coming, so I'm glad that we are finally sitting down and doing it. Amazing.
Yeah, good to get it done.
And so for everyone watching at home, tell us, what do you do with yourself when it comes to the creative arts?
So I have a little bit of all different things. First and foremost, I'm a tattoo artist, and then I do a lot of pin-up work. I've previously done a lot of pin-up competing in pageants and modelling as well for clothing companies, and then more recently, burlesque.
Amazing. Yeah. So a bit of a mixture of things.
Yeah, it's a nice little flow of kind of evolution, really.
Incredible. Yeah. I guess, what was the first thing you started with?
As far as the tattooing or more pin-up sort of stuff?
I think just as a creative, like what was, I guess, the first creative thing that you did?
Art and actual drawing kind of art as well. When I was younger, I did a little bit of musical theatre with my mum and sister as well, and then a lot of theatre at high school as well, and then after high school my sister and I did a lot of community theatre work as well, so I've always had a little bit of performing, a little bit of dance when I was younger, just very basic like jazz tap kind of stuff, so I've always some sort of performers, but probably mostly visual art and actually drawing and creating that way.
There's always been a performer deep inside you.
Always been a performer, yeah.
Amazing, I love it. That's
I used to sit down at night and like play with my mum's hair, and she'd say, "Oh, you can be a hairdresser at night, and then during the day, and then a Spice Girl at night." I think the Spice Girls was my like original inspiration to perform.
Amazing. That is incredible. I love that. Yeah. And might not be too late. You might be able to join the Spice Girls.
Maybe the other Spice Girls.
Amazing. And so, I guess with burlesque, how long ago? How long has it been since you started burlesque? Because you said it's only just been recently.
So I've only recently, in the past month, I guess, started solo performing.
Really?
Yeah, so Halloween weekend was my first debut, and I started classes at Maison early last year.
That's amazing.
So it's a very recent, it's something that I wanted to transition into for a very long time. There's a lot of crossovers with pin-up and burlesque, and a lot of the time we had burlesque performers, or we'd go to events and they'd have burlesque shows in the evening. So I'd been going to burlesque shows for a long time, and was kind of like, oh, that's something that maybe I'd like to do, but I always thought it was this kind of up here thing that I couldn't get, and I just do this little pin-up thing down here. So something that I was interested in for a long time, and that whole performing aspect of it.
Amazing. Yeah, that's wow. Like I'm amazed, because like honestly, I would have never thought that you've only just started performing, because like I only just recently saw you at the Nerdlesque Championship.
Performance ever.
Like, well, you fooled me. Congratulations. Like you were absolutely phenomenal, and I loved the act that you put together, which we'll dive into that a little bit later. And but that's wow. Like I'm very impressed. I was just like, I never would have thought that you've been only doing it for like.
I think having that musical theatre background mixed with competing in pin-up pageants and doing, I guess, stage work, that it made me very comfortable. That the only thing was just like, okay, now I take my clothes off. That's the difference.
You just throw that into
That's
that.
the difference, really. Yeah. Instead of pin-up pageants is a lot more about particular posing as well, and burlesque is like less posing, but now we just take more clothes off. So they're very similar in as far as you would go with creating an act. They have very similar ways that you do things. So it felt very easy to go into burlesque.
Okay, so it sounded like it was a very easy transition for you to go from one to another, and it seemed like it was also a lot of fun transition.
And I thought, I need to go and do some like beginner classes and just get familiar.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I loved about the classes is networking with the teachers and the other people now who are a lot of the emerging performers now that I've known through the school, and so we're all kind of on a journey together, we're all going on. So yeah, the classes are really great for the networking side. And
definitely, and it's so important as well. Like I've had so many conversations with people about how the importance of networking and just, you know, connecting with others and helping each other out and celebrating, you know.
Yeah, community is huge. And especially as well within the pin-up community too and burlesque. Even though they're very two separate communities, they have very similar values as far as like supporting each other and
it's so important, you know, like, and I remember hearing reading a quote from somewhere going, you know, instead of being jealous of someone's success, celebrate their success with them. So, you know, go up to them and say, yeah, good on you, you know, that's amazing.
Yeah. Like that's one thing I love now that I've retired from competing in pin-up pageants, and now I'm more of a mentor / judge for a lot of these competitions, that now I get to go there and get to encourage people, and even though I'm marking and critiquing their scores, but I get to go there and celebrate and give them all the good feedback of all the great things that they did.
Absolutely. Constructive feedback.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I guess talking about like the pin-up and pageant side of things, how long ago did you begin, and what was, I guess, your inspiration of starting with the pin-up and the pageant stuff? Like,
it's a funny crossover from tattooing as well. So my very first pin-up competition was at the Tattoo Expo in 2014.
Wow.
It was run by a Sydney photographer back then with a different name. And at the time, I was a tattoo apprentice. So I was looking on the website. I was already going to go visit the expo that weekend, and I looked on the website. And at the time, I dressed very sort of rockabilly on the weekends kind of thing, and having that sort of musical theatre background, I saw they were advertising for a pin-up comp, and I'd never seen one before, didn't know what it was. But I'm like, oh, I could get on stage and wear a dress and have fun with this. That was fun. So I signed up. I didn't even have a stage name at the time. I just had my own name, and it felt really strange. And I only had 2 weeks to prepare and try and get outfits together, and didn't really know what I was doing, but I went there and I made a lot of friends, and then it came back around again next year. I was like, yeah, I want to do this again. And then since then, networking through other people, and we started to learn more about different events and things that happened, and it's been in many pageants over the years. So it's really kind of funny to go from tattooing that led me into doing pin-up pageants. And I won some titles and some runner-ups, and it's nice to win things, but ultimately it was very much of a social event. At the time that I first started, my son was only a little baby, and it was very much of something to like, I need something for me, I want to go out and do something for me that's not being a mum. So that's sort of what, and it was going to the events was very much my social, and now pretty much a lot of my friends I've met through pin-up community people.
Amazing. You know, and it is like the amount of times I've sat down and talked to people about, like, you know, doing the burlesque classes, doing the pin-up stuff, pole and all that sort of thing. They say one of the biggest things that they love is the social networking, which is what we were talking about before. And even the same with me through my own art journey. The most closest people who I would consider family are from the art community, because I think it's because we connect so well with each other, because we are all we all are passionate about the same thing. And so I think, it's always good to hear when you, like, as you said for yourself, where you're like, you obviously winning the awards, coming runners up is always cool. You know,
crowns and sashes are great, but it's not everything.
Exactly. You know, you don't have to win like 20 trophies, 20 crowns.
I've been in plenty of pageants where I didn't place and get anything. And it's hard sometimes, because yes, you put in a lot of effort and work, and you're like, I want to win this, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't matter, I had fun. We have a good time with our friends. Especially lately, we've been doing the Australian Pin-Up Pageant, and we've had a couple of events up in New South Wales, and we stay in a house together or in hotel rooms together, so we're not just doing the competition, that's it. We spend the whole weekend at a festival together with all the competitors, and it's very much this family, really. And one thing that I've really loved about pin-up is having different people from different ages and different backgrounds all coming together and having this similar interest. People that I wouldn't have met any other way.
Yeah.
But we all come together, and I picture burlesque as very similar as well. Everyone has very different backgrounds and different day jobs, and if we didn't have this one thing that we all agree on, we wouldn't have met each other.
No, that's it. Like, the amount of times I've, like, obviously, you know, I've photographed a lot of performers as well as interviewed a lot of them. The amount of times I've had different, like, their daytime jobs and all that are. And it's really cool to see, like, all these different people from different walks of life just coming together for the one passion of burlesque. And I think that's what's amazing about the art community and how close we are as a community, because, like, even though we are all from all these different walks of life and all these different parts of the world, we all share that one passion. For you is pin-up.
And pin-up is very much the same. People of different ages, people that are much older than me and much younger than me that I wouldn't have normally met and come across, but now we're all friends.
Amazing. Sounds like it's been a really incredible journey for you.
It's good, yeah.
And I guess, you know, talking about, so your persona name is Miss Lulu Lipstick. So I have to ask, where did that name come from?
I don't, I've had it for so long, I don't really even know. I think I've had it since about 2015. I had to create it because I was entering the next comp and I needed a name. I think ultimately I just like the alliteration of like the double L's.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know where it came from other than that.
It does sound good.
I've had it for so long. I used to make little brooches. Like, I used to get wooden brooches laser cut. I would just like make vectors and laser cut them. And the name that I created for that business before I had a stage name was Lulu and Lipstick, just as like a nice kind of cute name for an accessory business. And then I didn't do that for too much longer, but I thought, I liked keeping that, so that's when I changed it to Miss Lulu Lipstick.
It's got a good ring to it. Like, we were talking about that off camera, and I'm like, it's got such a cool.
Sounds good, and I like that it's not a complicated name to say. You don't have an MC that's like, how do I pronounce this? This is fine.
It's like, just so I know, am I pronouncing this correct?
It's really easy to pronounce, and Lulu's quite a nice little short first name as well.
It would, the MCs would be very happy to know that it's like, okay, cool, it's a name I can pronounce.
I'm not too fussed on the Miss. The Miss is very much in the pin-up world. We kind of keep the Miss, but I found since coming into burlesque, not a lot of people have the title beforehand. So some people in burlesque will just introduce me as just Lulu Lipstick, and I'm fine with that. But that's where the Miss usually comes from. In pin-up we had Miss whoever or whatnot.
Is there, if you don't mind me asking, is there like a reason why in the pin-up, the pageant, why they go with the Miss or all that sort of thing? Is there a particular reason, or is it just a,
I think it's something that's been around for so long. Like when they used to have a lot of old 50s, 60s pageants, they'd have Miss, it's kind of like Miss Universe.
Of course.
And that sort of way.
Mr. Universe.
They might have, Miss Florida, or it's usually like a title. But fortunately we are seeing, and it's happening now in burlesque community as well, that a lot of competitions are taking away that Miss title. That's why I love we do the Australian pin-up pageant. We've never had Miss whatever. It's always just been the title and then winner or runner-up. And people, they can choose their title if they like. But in the past, I've been in a lot of other competitions where it's like the Miss whatever. And so it's good that we're kind of steering away because not everybody identifies as Miss.
Exactly,
We even recently had one of our friends come over from New Zealand to help judge recently at ProFest. And New Zealand hadn't taken that a title, and once we kind of explained it that this is why we do it, she kind of went, that makes more sense. So hopefully we see more competitions start to change and get rid of those names as well.
That would be really good. More welcoming.
It doesn't sit with anyone. And we want a lot more men and male presenting guys to come in. Like, pin-up is not just a female. And having that Miss makes people think, I'm a man, I can't enter this competition. It's not
so taking away that
and having this overall just as the winner, it's open to all genders.
Absolutely, 100%. And I guess talking about, like, because I know you said you did the transition from pin-up to burlesque and all that sort of thing. Was that for you, because I know that you were saying the whole aspect of going, it's a little bit different except for, I'm taking clothing off in burlesque and all that. Was that a bit of a hard transition for you to move into, or what was like? I guess what was the transition like for you?
I think the actual act of being on stage with not many clothes was fine, because in a lot of the competitions I've done, I wore swimwear, which is very similar to lingerie, same kind of thing. I think the different part in my brain was the context, because I used to be very cheesecake, and the way that it was done was a very playful kind of style that was very easy for me, but then to switch and be like, okay, now it's a sexy thing, that was kind of hard to switch in my brain. To trying to be like, oh no, this is not just a cute, fun, playful thing, this is more of a sexy kind of. So that was the hurdle to get over. But once you, especially doing classes, once you get in and you meet people and you're around or everyone else is doing it, it kind of just rubs off on you as well. One of the classes we did with Maple is in the burlesque basic class she does tassel twirling. So she gives us pasties, and we all in the class together, we're all a bit nervous, and we stick them on ourselves. And she's like, if nobody wants to, like, if you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But once we all start sticking them on together and we start, twirling them around, because everyone else is doing it, it's like, oh, it's not just me, it's a lot more comfortable having everybody else involved.
It definitely, and like as we were saying before, it's very welcoming and very safe community where people can feel comfortable to go like, oh, okay, no, I can give this a try. I'm not going to be judged for it. I'm not going to. They're
doing it. I can do it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get that a lot too from going to watching a lot of burlesque shows as well, and especially a lot of like bigger size performers. Like Kitty Obsidian, and we did a workshop about owning your space and being a bigger performer, so seeing people like them on stage and just like, I don't really care about my body, you've already paid your money, you've come here to see me, so I'm going to perform anyway.
Amazing performer, Kitty. Absolutely incredible. And it's really great to see, and I always say this with everyone, the diverse amount of performers in the community is amazing, and it's just incredible to see so many amazing people being comfortable with
and that's kind of if I wanted to bring anything as well, that's kind of what I'd hope is, and I've had it in the past as well, even with pin-up and wearing swimsuits, and people watching me on stage and being like, oh, well, if you do it, then I want to try it too, and I might try and do something like this, and I can see you're having fun with it. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's all I can really hope for.
Absolutely. I think that's all we can hope for, is saying that attitude of going like, if I can do it, if that person can do it, then I can do it, And I think that's, what everyone else can hope for.
It happens the same as well in pin-up comps too, having a lot of people that sit there and watch it and just being inspired and being like, oh, maybe next year
I want to do that.
I don't want to enter. We had that a lot, but we just recently went to the Dragged Out Festival in Beechworth, and we had the pin-up comp up there. And we got to compete our first 2023 Victorian heat on the weekend. There were so many children in the audience watching us and coming up to us afterwards and being like, that was amazing, like, how do I do it? I mean, unfortunately they have to be 18 to
of course.
But just to inspire them to be like, wow, that was amazing, I want to do what you do, how do we do that? And I love that so much, because I felt I was one of those people. I went to a couple of, I'd been in a couple of pageants, but I went and watched a couple of pageants and seeing the girls on stage, and I was like, I want to do that.
It's an amazing feeling. Like I had that same thing with when I started doing photography. Like when I had someone come up to me and say how much they love my work, I'm like, fuck, that's so weird, because like that was me like years ago as well. Like looking at a computer screen at all these amazing artists, and I'll just be like, I want to be like.
So I have this love-hate thing with going to shows now, because I love watching shows, but then I'm like, but I want to get on the stage and do it with them too.
Amazing. And
you have my turn on there.
It's my turn now. And so I guess talking about like, so you recently did this incredible act with an incredible character. So I guess quickly talking about that. So do you want to talk about that act that you recently did?
Yeah, so Oogie Boogie was my debut act. I don't think I'd ever planned it to be a debut act. But it was an idea that I'd had for quite a few years. I don't think it was originally going to be a burlesque act. It was just something that I liked the character and I wanted to do something with it. And I think, I felt so strongly towards the character, and having my last pin-up performance be a Beetlejuice character So this natural sort of temper and crossover,
Yeah.
but I really like the theatrics, and I really pushed myself at Beetlejuice because prior to that, I did a lot of very cute cheesecake sort of style. So coming into doing, which is what we call psychobilly genre, which is kind of like a punk, psychobilly is a genre of music, but a punk horror, darker themed mixed with rockabilly is psychobilly, and that's what I entered my Beetlejuice one with. So I really loved being a very over dramatic kind of style that it was just kind of funny that now I lent into Oogie. I probably watched a lot of people make costumes on YouTube of like Halloween costumes, and I'm like, there's something in that's really fun. And I needed to create an act, and I was just like, this is the one that I feel strongly about. I've got so many ideas of other acts, obviously, but this is the one that I feel so solid on, and I want to do it. So I may as well just better start creating it. And I started ordering bits and pieces of the costumes I've made. All that costume
Wow,
as
it
well.
looks amazing. Like it
held together with hot glue.
Oh, it looks amazing.
It was great. So I started creating it all together, and then I had another photo shoot coming up, so I thought, I better finish this for the photo shoot so we can shoot it and go from there. But it's been really fun. There's a little bit of worries of like, here's something that you've created and put all this effort in, but I hope people like it. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of doubt. You're like, is this really stupid? Are people going to be into this? But no, it's been really well received, and even prior to Nerdlesk as well, people that hadn't seen it but had seen a little bit of footage and photos and like, I can't wait to see it. And so I've had good feedback on it so far.
Yeah, and it was an amazing performance. Like, even for me, I have to say, before I saw that performance, like, because I can remember seeing a photo, like you shared a photo of it before that night, and I was like looking at it and going, who is this? And I was like looking at it, oh, it's Lulu. It's like, because obviously you can't see your face because you're wearing like all this other thing, and so it could be anyone behind that. And so I was like looking at whose profile it was, and I'm like, oh, it's Lulu. That is really cool, you know? Yeah. And it looks amazing.
I kind of like the idea that, especially being a debut actor, people don't know who I am and my name. Hopefully they remember the Oogie Boogie act. Like. Oh,
you definitely have made...
They don't remember me personally. What was that Oogie Boogie act? Yeah,
it's like, who was the one who did Oogie Boogie?
Yeah.
That would be...
That's memorable in that sense.
Oh, well, definitely for me, I'm going to remember that. That's something I'm going to remember.
But as I started getting closer and to debuting at Speakeasy, it was really nice to have this thing that I was so very proud of, that I was like, I just want to show people what I'm doing, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I can imagine it would have been so much fun, and you definitely made a very big impact.
Yeah, it really helps. I had a lot of people saying, oh, you move really well in the costume, but it's so easy. Like, once I get in the costume and it has these like big long floppy arms, it's so easy to get in character. And I think there is this little sense of me as well, the fact that I do half in a mask, it kind of helps me warm up to the audience a little bit. Even though I'm miming every word underneath, because I'm so used to rehearsing, miming all the words, that I'm still miming under the mask. But it's kind of
Can people see me?
Yeah, it's nice to kind I come out and be in this costume, yet people don't know what
that you're miming.
my face is like as well, and I don't take it off until kind of 3/4 through, so it gives me a little bit of time to kind of warm up and get into it. So by the time that I do take it off, the energy is there and I can perform the rest of it.
Amazing. Well, all I can say is that it was a phenomenal performance, and honestly, I
was very happy with the Nerdlesk one. It's probably it got better and better every time I do it. So I'm really hoping that the more times I perform it, it's going to get better.
That's all we can hope for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And absolutely. And so for a final question, I'll ask you. So in the we're getting close to the new year already. I can't believe that. Come around so quickly. So what are your plans for like future wise? Like, have you got things lined up? Like, what have you got lined up?
Other than immediately right away when we have Maison Solo Showcase, and then also judging the pin-up comp at the Tattoo Expo, which is next weekend. After that, I'm going to Parks in New South Wales in January, which is the Elvis Presley Festival.
That's cool.
We went there last year for the first time, and that'll be the first New South Wales heat for the Australian pin-up pageant there as well. So that'd be really cool. Hopefully, doing some more travelling with that. We're definitely going back to Beechworth again to do the Victorian comp in November next year. Wow. So lots of pin-up things happening. I'm going to be doing a burlesque attitude
Amazing.
some point early next year when that's on. But that's about it. Hopefully we'll just...
Got some pretty amazing things coming up.
I just had the busiest month of doing all the things that I've been doing, so now I think everyone's taking a little bit of a break. But
a bit of a breather.
Yeah, probably lots more with the Australian pin-up stuff next year, and hopefully more shows and things coming up.
I'm honestly looking forward to seeing so many incredible performances by you.
I'm excited to do them.
Amazing. And I want to wish you all the very best, Lulu. And I want to say a huge thank you as well for taking the time to come up to the channel.
Much for asking.
Oh, that's okay. It's my pleasure. I've been so excited to do this.
Long time listener, first time caller.
You're too kind. Amazing. For everyone watching at home, thank you for tuning into another episode of The Creative Process. If you want to check out Lulu's amazing work, there will be links to her account down below. Go and support her if she's performing in your area. Absolutely phenomenal. As I said, the Oogie Boogie Act, you do not want to miss out on it. It's absolutely incredible. As I keep saying, let's keep supporting our amazing community. Go to performances, pay for art, pay for photography. We have the power to help each other out during these times. Let's keep supporting our amazing community. We've got an incredible community. And yeah, let's keep up that support.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next episode.